Dad said you're not allowed to go to Benny's house, that child is not being tracked. So mum and dad don't know that maybe the kid's just doing something a little silly. But the point is, that's not our business, and nobody is going to use that app if they know they're going to be traceable at any particular time. Everyone likes their privacy, even like 13-year-olds, of course. So we came up with something that you can push a button that sounds an alarm, and then a secondary time you push it, it sends the GPS map to 2 nominated phones. But it's also very suitable for adults as well. So, if you're a jogger or someone with a medical condition, you can have that, with your wife or your mother, or if you have a child with asthma or anything like that. It's not necessarily, I'm about to be abducted, please push the button. It's a case of if you feel you need help, you go bang, and those 2 people, no doubt, will quickly ring you to say, is this for income? Is there something I can do? Yeah, look, my asthma pump's run out. Can you drop one at the school office, or whatever the case may be? So we think it has great application. I loosely just call it, it's not for daily use or anything like that. It's like a boatie that has an EPIRB for there. It's a personal emergency device. That's what it is. You can use it multiple times, but truly it's designed just to be a one-off use if ever you feel stressed. Of course, the notes page again is from our journey, because if you were following it in the media, there were numerous reports of different vehicles and different people and sketches of persons of interest in and around the area where Daniel was abducted. And there have been a variety of different vehicles and colours and even the location, etc. We just thought not everyone has a pen and paper, and we're not, again, just talking about abduction. It could be that you're picking up or you're popping your groceries in your car after being to Coles, and you just observe a car 6 spots over, a couple of blokes sitting in it maybe, and they're just looking at the bottle shop or the ATM, and you think, oh, that's a bit odd. And you can key in yellow, Holden, 2 males, whatever the description is. You can key in the rego if you're game enough, perhaps. And it just is stored on your phone. It's like writing a note on a piece of paper. And maybe nothing ever happens, but who knows, on the Saturday night, the ATM is ripped out of the wall. You can go to police and say, is that a help? And you're not trusting the human memory, which we appreciate. It leaves a lot to be desired. We're very, very ordinary. Trying to remember something yesterday or 2 weeks ago, you're just not going to get it right. But if you can say, well, I did store that, and there it is, yellow Holden, 2 males, and there's the rego. It's actually evidence, not human memory, and I think that's going to be something unique. So again, that's just stored in your phone, and that's part of our journey where maybe a witness, someone walking their dog, or they drive past them, well, at the next traffic light, I'm just going to key that in because I thought that looked a little bit suspicious, something a bit odd, and it may be really useful in solving the crime another day. Any other questions? Or we're cool?
The no child left behind policy has had a bit of a run in the media with kids taking advantage of it. Do you take the attitude all publicity is good publicity, providing it's not off the scale?
Yeah, look, we're actually really sensitive to a child left behind at a bus stop. Of course, that goes back to, we get numerous reports from emails or even a phone call saying, oh, my child's been left behind at the school bus stop at Coolum or at Broadbeach or something like that. And they sometimes have said, well, they've caught the bus there for 18 months, and today, it just continued and drove past. Sometimes we get people that say their child had $20, a $20 note or $50 note, and the bus driver didn't have sufficient fare. Well, I'm sure you and I would say, mate, sit in the back, I don't care. Nobody knows, I'll drop you off wherever you want to go. They say, get off. And I think, what's this about? That's just ridiculous. It's not the customer's fault. But it appears that that particular policy, certainly reading media reports, I've not seen any specific data on it, but I know what the Minister tosses around that certainly in some schools, some nominated areas, that perhaps a quarter or more of students are taking advantage of that, and they're walking on the bus and say, I don't have sufficient money, and the bus driver has to take them to wherever they want to get off. You know, I'm sure there's a few cute kids that do that, but you know, the policy wasn't about that. It was about you know, protecting somebody that had lost their bus fare, or you know, the bus driver didn't have change. Obviously, we would like kids to be safe, and to jump on a bus seems logical. I mean, well, that's what they're for. Anyway, the powers that be, but no doubt money's important at the minute at a government level, and they just want their $4 fares no matter where they are. So we would hate another Daniel, and you know, we just you know, that won't be comfortable for us, and I'm sure, you know, even at a minister level and everybody underneath, that'll be send shockwaves if ever somebody takes advantage like that again. But anyway, we just roll with the punches there.
Any more questions?
Are there any plans for the app to actually go global?
It can go global because wherever you can get a GPS or internet, you can use that. You can use the app, but we haven't advertised it outside of Australia, of course. Yeah.
They're actually we do get a printout of where they've been downloaded, and there are like one here and two here in China and England and South Africa and different places like that. So there is a vague sprinkling, but there's certainly been no media. You know, it's probably only a matter of time before someone picks that up and copies it and perhaps fashions it into something slightly different. But you know, it's not about money for us. We don't expect, and the funds go to the foundation. We don't expect to make heaps of money. We just try to recoup our investment in that project. Truly, if it went global, and who knows, there were 25 million of these downloaded, and we don't get the funds, we don't care. There's 25 million kids and adults as well that are now safer, and that's the point of inventing that. It wasn't to become rich or make the foundation anything special. It was just to save those children, so that's why we did it. But yeah, I should say that anybody like schoolies coming up later, obviously lots of schoolies go down the Gold Coast, but we understand that some go to Fiji, some go to Bali, etc. Without any shadow of doubt, that app will work, so concerned parents can put it on their 17-year-old's phone as a safety net, and in Bali, provided you get you know, Google Maps and internet access, it'll work. So you know, children in England or wherever, it'll still work, or parents, it'll still work.
Thanks very much, guys. That was amazing. I'm sure all of you have learned as much as I have today, not only about the app, but also a little bit more insight into the whole background into the Morcombe's journey through the foundation. I'd just like to call on Mark Carter. He just would like to present both of you with something as well.
Thanks very much, Amy. I think, as I said earlier on, I guess one of our club's goals and hopes is that we can nurture and protect our youth, and I thank you both very much for your efforts and the Foundation's efforts over the years. It must obviously be difficult at times, but possibly challenging and rewarding at the same time. So sincerely, I thank you for coming today, and thank you for being able to present and talk to us. First of all, I'd like to, I guess, present a certificate of appreciation on behalf of the club. Cheers, to both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also a booklet about Rotary, Humanity in Motion, that talks about some of the projects that Rotary does.
Thank you.
But I think also most importantly, as I said, you know, in support of the endeavours that the Daniel Morcombe Foundation does, I'd also like to present you with a cheque for $2,500 on behalf of the club.
Oh, that's very nice.
Thank you very much again, Bruce and Denise. Anyone out there who has an iPhone in their pockets, we don't usually encourage use of mobile technology in the room at a Rotary meeting, but you're more than welcome to pull out your phone and download the app. I know I certainly will be. Thank you very much again.
Lovely, and thanks, Amy. All right. Just a little bit of housekeeping.